This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, coming to here, this is about our DevOps life cycle. Okay, I will give you more info about this after some time. And first of all, we need to understand about what is the DevOps roles and responsibilities, what DevOps engineer is going to be working within the organization. Okay, he is going to be working like as admin activities, like even AWS cloud engineer. Okay, there is AWS activities they are going to be working. They need to be give some permissions. In AWS side, they are going to be working like as admin guy as well, and he's going to be working on the, it might be Azure also, it might be some Linux machine also, on-premise servers also, it might be whatever it is. Some admin activities we are going to be happening here. We are going to be done some installations also in this particular admin activities. And next one, coming to this development, we are going to be done some different developments. Okay, I need to write some of the Docker files. Who is going to be writing these Docker files? As a DevOps guy, we need to write some Docker files. Some of the companies, some developers also going to be writing. Okay, it's based on their project requirement. They are going to be writing their own Docker files, or it might be DevOps guys need to be write some Docker files, or else we need to write some pipelines as well. We need to write some Ansible YAML files as well, or else we need to write Terraforms also, Terraform scripts to automate our infrastructure. Like we need to be done some development activities as well. Okay, this is the one position. And automation engineer. Okay, there is one more position came into picture, that is automation engineer. Nowadays most of the guys are going to be looking for automation in their projects, because they don't want to do manual each and every time same activity. How many times you can be done manually? Because of that reason, we are going to be automate our process by using some shell scripts, or it might be Python, or it might be Terraform, or it might be Ansible, or it might be Groovy, whatever it is. We have a lot of things are there to automate our process. Okay, for this we are going to be working like as automation side as well. And then we are going to be working like as a deployment engineer, deployment activities also. Okay, we are going to be deploying our applications. Developers are not going to be done any developers are not going to be deploying any applications. As a DevOps guys, we need to be deploy the applications. Okay, that particular deployments is going to be working under the site reliability engineers. Those guys are going to be done the deployments. They're going to be releasing some of the releases based on the requirements, based on the their project structure, how they are going to be following. Okay, on what basis they are going to be deploying their applications, a sprint wise how many deployments they are going to be done. Those things are comes to this particular deployment activities. And fifth one is support. Okay, these support guys, support engineers are going to be supporting this particular deployments. What are the deployments are happen? They're always going to be monitor that particular applications. If they're going to be getting any alerts, based on the alerts they need to be work. We have different teams are there, like L1, L2, L3 teams are there. They're going to be working based on the type of it means single team. They're going to be handling different level of works, like as how much time they are going to be getting to resolve that particular issue. It's based on the timing. Okay, it might be small or it might be big, whatever it is. It's a any emergency, what is their priority, we can call like as a priority. How much priority we are going to be giving to this particular support activities for that particular error, for that particular issue. In production, whenever you are going to be deploying your applications into outside world, customers are going to be using our product. Like Flipkart, you can take some Flipkart application is there. This particular Flipkart application is going to be using by a lot of people within the world. Okay, it's not about the country also, it's about the world. Around the world, most of the guys are going to be using Flipkart application to purchase their products. So if this particular product is going to be down, what will be happen? Customers will be reduced, am I correct? In that case, if you don't want to miss the customers, if any product is not working fine, okay, some of the applications are not working fine, customers don't like to, they won't like to use that particular applications. So these particular applications should be up and running. Even any small issue is going to be happening, these support guys going to picture and they're going to be resolving the issues based on the priority. Okay, it's like as a high, medium and low priorities are there. Based on the priorities, they're going to be working. Okay, even we have the in our IT team, in our organizations we have some IT team is there. Those guys are going to be involving these particular areas. Okay, Even DevOps side also, what are the deployment you have done, that particular deployment need to be supported by DevOps guy itself. Other guys doesn't have much idea about the deployment activities. Those guys doesn't know about any issues are coming within the DevOps activities. Even these support guys also should understand about. Even these guys not required to learn much, but these guys need to understand about what is the exact issues, why it's going to be happening. Okay, these are the major roles and responsibilities are going to be involving for DevOps guys. First one is the admin activities. Okay, whenever you join the organizations, you are going to be getting some username and passwords, right? Who is going to be giving that particular username and passwords? There is admin team is there. Those guys are going to be providing the username and passwords. Here these admin activities different, company or admin activities are different. But within the organizations, once you join the organizations, they will just give the username and password with it's like as LDAP will be there. That particular activities, that particular access they will provide. But whenever you are going to be working in a project, for project you need more access, like Git access I required some Nexus access, I required some AWS access. Okay, I require some Kubernetes access. These particular accesses are going to be providing by admin guys, and these admin guys, it means DevOps guys only going to be involving to give the permissions to them, and these guys are going to be involving to install the packages within the servers. What are the servers you are going to be using? Within the servers they are going to be installing the packages. Okay, and these guys are going to be involving the development and automation and deployment and support activities as well. Okay, these are the major roles are going to be involving for DevOps guys. Is this clear, guys? Any questions? I hope everyone is clear, right? If you have any
Yes.
questions, please let me know. You can unmute yourself and you can talk with me. We can discuss on that particular area as well. Okay, don't be calm if you face any issues, if you're not understanding anything. Yeah, and coming to roles and coming to this life cycle. Okay, what are the tools are going to be using within this particular life cycle? Stage by stage we are going to be using different tools. As per our discussion, plan is not going to be taking much. This particular plan is not going to be involving by DevOps guys. Only it's based on the project. DevOps guys may or may not involve in this particular plan. And next, code onwards. We are going to be working within the code onwards. Okay. Planning is going to be happening at the architect level, or there is architect meeting is going to be happening every week, or it might be sprint wise. They are going to be creating one meeting. In that particular plan, they are going to be involving in this particular activities. Okay, and next one is the code. What is meant by code here? Now you can come here in our organizations. Okay, it's a project in the sense they're not going to be working one or two members. We have a lot of members are going to be working, right? Within the project now might be developers are there. Developers in the sense four members might be exist. Okay, and then testing team is there. Testing team we have two members might be, or it might be one member. And we have some deployment or DevOps guy we can check. These guys also might be two members or one member. Okay, some companies they are going to be taking four members also. It's based on the project length, how many members are there in the project. Okay, how much big the how much big that particular project is belongs to. Based on that, these particular members are going to be increasing. Okay, by generally we are going to be taking this much. My team size is also 12 members are there, 12 to 12 members, and we are going to be supporting nearly 5 teams. Okay, they are going to be working in different environments. Okay, so we 12 members are going to be working in different environments, and we are going to be helping them to resolve the issues, as well as we are going to be doing some development activities, and we are going to be working like as admin activities. Okay, and we are going to be supporting, we are doing some support activities as well, and we are doing some deployments as well, and we are doing some automations as well. Every role we are going to be involving in our organizations. But it's not a each and every role is going to be done by DevOps guy. Some companies it's based on the company and project. DevOps case roles will be different. Okay, there is a cloud admin is there. Those guys only do admin activities. Like these type of activities are going to be involving. Okay, it's based on their roles and responsibilities within the project. They are going to be working on different tools. Now here these four members, where these particular guys are going to be writing their code in their laptops. From that particular laptop, how these guys are going to be sharing with others, how the code is going to be sharing with others. This particular code is going to be sharing with others by using some central point. Now I'm going to be giving some paint. I'm just opening my paint. In our sessions, we are going to be seeing in a pictorial manner each and everything, so that you can get clarity about how what is the tools and technologies. Now I have two developers are there. Okay, this is the one developer you can think. Okay, this is the one developer, this is the second developer and third developer. Like each and every developer, they are going to be working in their laptop itself. Okay, here this guy is going to be using one laptop. It's a development in the sense they are not going to be done anywhere, they are going to be done in their laptop itself. Okay, and these guys are going to be working on this laptop 2, and this guy is going to be working on the laptop 3. Now all these three guys are going to be working on a single project. Okay, all these three guys are going to be working on single project. So this particular project is having different modules: module 1, module 2, module 3. Like these guys are going to be working on different modules under the project. So first guy might be work on the first module only, second guy is going to be working on the second module, and third guy is going to be working on the third module. Okay, there is a dependency is also there. This particular first module code is going to be using by second module. It means what is the code is going to be writing by developer 1, that particular code we have to get by developer 2 as well, otherwise he can't able to start his work. So how this guy is going to be sharing his code to developer 2? Every day it's not possible to share manually we can share, there is no issue. Directly these guys can share their code to other guy. That is, but that is not a good thing. Every time, even every sometimes every half an hour you want to share your code, that is not possible manually. Instead of that, better we can keep somewhere in remote locations, like you are going to be storing your images in the Google Drive or somewhere, right? How you are going to be keeping and how you are going to be sharing with others. Whenever you are at the moment you are going to be uploading your images in Google Drive, at the same time it will see by some other guys. Okay, it's the same approach here as well. We are going to be keeping our code somewhere in the remote location, that is a source code management we can call. Source code management, at this place we are going to be keeping our code. This guy is going to be keeping their code here, and this guy is also going to be keeping their code here, and this guy is also going to be keeping their code here. Okay, anyone is required some code which is written by developer 1, this code will be exist here, that particular code can get by developer 2. Okay, like there is a facility is going to be providing by source code management. What are the tools are comes under this particular source code management? Okay, here in this code we are going to be using source code management, right? This source code management, it means what is the source of code. Whenever you are going to be deploying any Flipkart application, whatever it is, that particular application, if you want to see, okay, if you want to how is this one is going to be working, behind developers written some code, that particular code is going to be managing with some tools. Either it might be GitHub, or it might be GitLab, or it might be Azure repos, or it might be code commit. Okay, like we have different tools are there. Or Bitbucket is there, or it might be SVN is there. Like we have different tools are there, we can use any one of the tool, but this is not going to be deciding by us. It's based on project architecture. If we have to use that particular source code management only. Okay, this is not going to be deciding by us within the company. This will be decided by architect, that is architecture will be there. Each and every project they have their own architecture, and in that it will be decided, and we can use that particular source code management. Even if you understood about one source code management, we can easy work with other source code management as well. Okay, everything is everything is a common. What the commands are going to be using is common. Okay, it will be look like if you are going to be learning one thing, it's a similar, other tools also will be similar. Okay, even interview also they might ask which particular source code management you have worked. If you say GitHub, they might ask questions on the GitHub itself. Okay, it's not required to learn each and every source code management. You can ask them. Here we can discuss about GitLab and GitHub as well, both we can discuss. Okay, I will show you how to install the GitLab and how we can push our code to GitLab as well. I will show this particular part as well. Okay, and I'm going to be giving my GitHub details. We can go and see GitHub/Naresh240. This is my GitHub. I'm going to be keeping a lot of content here. We can see nearly 155 repositories are there. In these repositories, I have some different applications are there. There is a Spring Boot application is there. This is belongs to Java related application. Okay, Java code I have kept here, and I'm going to be deploying the applications like this. Okay, and if you comes to Node.js, we can go and search for Node.js. I have written some Node.js application as well. This is my Node.js application. And Python application, I'm going to be showing Python. Okay, it's not required to write by DevOps guys. Developers, they are going to be writing the code. What is the code is written by developers, they are going to be keeping in the source code management like this. Okay, they will keep the code like this, home.py, like that they will write and they will keep here. Okay, I also got the information from them only. This is not written by me, but I have some idea about these things, so I have done my own. Okay, I don't have any developers here to write this particular code, so I get code from the Google or somewhere. I just kept in my repositories. I'm going to be showing within our classes. Okay, so this is about the source code management, where they are going to be keeping. It's nothing but code. As per our discussion, first one is the code. Okay, here we are going to be using these many tools. Any one tool is fine. It's not required to learn each and every tool also. Is this clear? Clear guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Next one is the build part. Okay, so what is the code is written by developers? Okay, if you give this particular code to deployment team, we have, as per our discussion, we have different teams are there, right? Developers written their code. If you give this particular code to DevOps guys, these guys doesn't know anything. Okay, about the development, these guys doesn't know anything. If you give this particular code, by mistake this DevOps guys or deployment team, they might do some changes, like they might kept some dot. Okay, unfortunately it happened, they're not going to be done intentionally. Something is done automatically, just they are going to be keeping some dot or something. Okay, in that case what will be happen? If they are going to be keeping their code, if they are going to be keeping their code, if they are going to be giving their code to DevOps team, they might have some changes by DevOps team. That particular application will not work. Even one dot is going to be happening also, it won't work properly. Okay, so because of that reason, we are not going to be sharing the code to DevOps guys, or it might be we can share. We are not going to be giving code to deployment teams, not DevOps teams. We are not going to be giving code to DevOps deployment teams. We just give some file. Okay, it's a similar. We can deploy the applications with the code directly, or else we can create single file. That particular file can convert, that particular file can deploy in deployment environment. Okay, we can deploy this particular application with single file. That type of file we can go and create. How we are going to be creating? Even that particular file also, that particular file can't be readable, can't be editable. Okay, can't be editable. This type of environment we are going to be creating. Okay, this type of file we are going to be creating. How we are going to be creating this particular file? Okay, it's based on the languages. We have different languages are there, like Java is there, and we have some Node.js is there, and we have some Python is there, and we have some Go language there. Okay, like we have different languages are there. Here, if you go with Java, here we are going to be writing, these developers are going to be writing Spring Boot applications. Here we are using two tools. One is the Maven and second one is the Gradle. Okay, any one tool we need to be used based on the type of language they are going to be writing. And here, which type of language is the developers, which type of language they are going to be writing. Based on that, we are going to be using either Maven or Gradle. Okay, I will give you full info how which particular tool we are going to be using here.
Naresh, I have one doubt.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, how will identify that the programmer will write the code on particular language? Like, if we know you can use Maven and Gradle, if the
Yeah,
developer use Node.js, how you identify that?
that's a based on the extensions are there, right? I'm going to be showing some example here. We can see at the extension is a
Okay,
py. What is meant by this?
okay,
Python. If it
okay,
is a Node.js,
Python.
there is extension like as a .js will be there. Okay,
Okay,
and if you comes to this particular Spring Boot application, this Spring Boot application is having this particular folder structure and it's having pom.xml. Okay, this is belongs to
okay,
Maven related. If it is a
yeah,
Gradle, there is a build.gradle will be there. With that, we can go and find out whether it's a Maven or Gradle also. Or else we can check with developer also. There is no issue. Directly we can connect with developers and we can get how you guys are going to be building the packages. Which particular command you guys are going to be using. What are the what we need to be installed. If I want to run that particular command, directly you can connect with them and you can check with them. There is no issue on that.
okay. That's what I expect.
Yeah. Okay. This is about Maven or Gradle. It's a Spring Boot application. And next one is Node.js application. Here we are going to be using npm. With this, we are going to be building single file. That particular file can use for deployment. Here Python, we are going to be using Python itself. Golang, we are going to be using Go. Okay, these are the tools we are going to be using. Like we have some React.js, AngularJS are there, and we have some .NET is there. Each and every tool we are going to be using, which and every language we are going to be using different tools. In our sessions, we are going to be discussing all the tools which are important for us. Okay, so that you will get some clarity. I will show you each and every tool how it's going to be working manually. I will show in a containerization also. Everything we can see one by one. Okay, this is comes under build part. Is this clear by everyone? Guys, is this clear?
Yes.
Yeah. Next one
Naresh.
is test. Okay, next one is test. Within this particular test, what will be happen? What is the code is written by developer, right? This particular code we need to test whether it's working fine or not, any duplicates are there or not, any syntax issues are there or not. We need to be test each and everything. Okay, we need how we are going to be testing duplicate lines are there or not, because these developers they are going to be writing thousands of lines, like 10,000 they might write. Sometimes they are going to be writing more than that also. Everything is not possible to do manually, right? To find out the duplicates or it might be syntax issues, everything is not possible to check. Those things are going to be checking with some tools. We can use SonarQube or JUnit. Okay, like we can use different tools. In our sessions, we are going to be discussing about SonarQube. With this, we are going to be checking code coverage. Okay, this particular code is having any vulnerabilities are there, any duplications are there. Those things we are going to be checking with this particular SonarQube. This one also we are going to be discussing in our sessions. Okay, once testing is done, we need to deploy our applications. Okay, first I will explain about the deployment, then we can go with release. Now deployment, where you are going to be deploying your applications. We are going to be deploying our applications in some
Jenkins.
environments. Guys, can you, I'm getting some extra noise. Yeah, Jenkins, we are not going to be deploying applications in Jenkins. don't think Jenkins is a deployment tool. Okay, it's a release tool. That particular tool is going to be using for CI/CD only. With the help of CI/CD, we are going to be deploying your applications in some environment. Okay, I will give you some image for this. Now, these developers, they are going to be writing their code. Okay, this is my developer. Once developer written their code, and they are going to be keeping inside the source code management, and then we are going to be, some guys they are going to be testing first, then going to be building, and then we are going to be deploying your applications. Okay, you can see here, this is my source code management, and then test, and then build. So based on type of test, we are going to be using either here or here, and then we are going to be deploying your applications. Okay, and which particular tools are going to be using one by one, we can see, so that you can get much clarity about your DevOps activities. This everything will be done by developer only, sorry, DevOps guys only. Just focus on this, and then once deployment is done, one more activity is there, that is a monitor. Okay, monitor is also came into picture. So I'm doing manually first. Okay, I'm doing all these things manually. How you are going to be done this one?
Naresh, in
What are the tools?
monitor, what are the activities will come? Like,
Yeah, I will tell you. I will tell one by
okay,
one. Okay.
okay, okay,
First, you can focus on this up to deployment. Then we can see about the monitor also. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Here, whenever the developer is going to be writing their code, developer, whenever he is going to be writing their code, he is going to be keeping the code in this particular place. At this point, his work is done. Developer won't come into picture again and again. Now onwards, as a DevOps guys, you need to be done the remaining activities like testing, and we need to be building, and we need to be deploying everything. Okay, where you are going to be testing, we require some sonar cube as per our discussion. Am I correct? Who is going to be creating the, who is going to be setting up this particular sonar cube? As the DevOps guys, we are going to be involving for installations as well. Okay, as per this, you can see we are going to be working like as admin activities. So installations also going to be done by DevOps guys. Few guys are going to be working on the installation side also. Okay, once you have the sonar cube, only one time activity only, it's not required to do again and again. Sonar cube setup is only one time activity. We need to set up this sonar cube. If it is already there, it's not required to set up again. Okay, some companies it may or may not exist. If not exist, we can go on use. Now this particular code we are going to be testing here with the sonar cube. Then we are going to be building. If it is a, this particular code might be Spring Boot application. Okay, if it is a Spring Boot application, I'm going to be using some tool like as a Maven. This Maven installation who will be done? As a DevOps case, we need to be done this Maven installation also. Okay, where you are going to be installing on top of some server. Okay, this one is also top of server, some server we are going to be done, and this we are going to be building some packages here. What is the package we are going to be getting? It might be get our jar or var files. Okay, these type of files we are going to be creating. These particular files can't be readable, can't be editable. And where you are going to be deploying your applications, I'm not going to be using Jenkins. I'm going to be using deployment activities we are going to be done in some environments like either Tomcat, or it might be JBoss, or else I can use the Docker containers, or else I can use Kubernetes, or else I can use Elastic Beanstalk, or else I can use ECS. Like we can use different tools. Okay, we can use any one of these tools. We have different tools, more than this also there. I'm just giving few tools here. These tools are enough to understand about this particular deployments. We are going to be creating these environments. These are the deployment environments. We need to be set up this Tomcat first. On top of the Tomcat, we are going to be deploying this particular jar or var files. Or else we need to be use Docker. This particular Docker is going to be building some Docker images, and we are going to be creating some containers. Or else we can go and discuss with Kubernetes. Inside the Kubernetes also we can deploy. Okay, any one tool, it's not required all the tools, any one tool we can use to deploy our applications. Okay, is this clear? I hope it's clear, right? In detail I will explain later
Yes.
in further sessions. Don't worry about that. Each and everything I will explain how the 4 to 5 years guy is going to be working in our organizations, we can learn that much level. Okay, yeah. Once deployment is done, yeah, I have my application is there, my Flipkart application is there, that particular application is deployed properly. If something happened, customers getting some issues, right? Customers might get different issues. Sometimes it might be slow, sometimes it might be different, it might give some error, I'm unable to pay amounts. Okay, these type of issues need to be checked by our support team. Okay, what might be the reason why it's not going to be why it's not going to be paying the amounts, why this particular server is going to be down, why it's not going to be, why it's taking more time to do some payments, or it might be streaming, whatever it is. Okay, in that case, this monitor team, they will come into picture and they will check the errors. Here they are going to be checking the logs of this particular applications, or it might be logs of applications, or it might be server application server logs. Okay, what type of thing they are going to be using. Okay, that might be applications or it might be servers, they are going to be checking the logs. Okay, they are going to be using, how they are going to be checking, either they can check with some commands, or it might be some tools they can use. If you are going to be using some commands, it will take longer time to find out the issue. Instead of that, if you are going to be using some tools, we can easily find out where the exact issue is going to be happening, when this particular error is happened, and how we can resolve that particular issue. We can easily find out by using these particular tools. Okay, we can monitor these particular applications or servers, we can monitor by using some tools called Grafana, or it might be Prometheus. Okay, these tools, and along with this, we are going to be discussing about ELK, Elasticsearch, and we are going to be discussing about Logstash, and it might be Kibana. Why I'm going to be giving these many? We doesn't know which company is going to be using Grafana, which company is going to be using Kibana. If you know minimum 1 or 2 tools, we can easily understand about other tools as well. Okay, our work is common. We need to set up this particular Grafana and Prometheus. We need to set up this particular ELK. On top of that, we are going to be creating some dashboards as well. Okay, once we have done this one, we are going to be creating some dashboards. I'm going to be giving some example for dashboards as well. Dashboards of Kibana, or it might be Grafana. We can go with Grafana so we can get some clarity. In these particular images, Grafana dashboards, we can look like this. We can see here, you guys can understand about this particular image, what is going to be happening in this. Okay, I'm just increasing the size of this particular image, and we can see at what time this particular spike is down, and what time at this particular spike is this particular uh, spike comes up. Because this particular CPU utilization, you can think one side is a CPU utilization. Okay, if it is a graphical representation, we can easily understood about what is going to be happening here. Okay, I will give you some other image which is having CPUs and memories. I can go with this, I hope. Query visualizations. Here we can see one is a login. This is related to CPU and this is related to server related. Okay, server CPU usages. This is a memory or CPU. This is the server CPU usages. Okay, at what time this particular CPU is increased, we can easily find out by using this. But if you go with logs, it's very difficult to find out at what time this particular CPU is reaches to 100% or it might be 90%. So because of that reason, we are going to be using these particular tools. We can easily find out which particular thing, which particular roles it means, which particular CPU at what time the CPU is going to be giving high. Okay, those things we can find out, and what is the reason behind that, then we can go and easily find out. Okay, and by using this, we are going to be getting some alerts also at what time. Every time it's not a good thing to check this particular things also. For that, we need to get some alarms. Whenever you are going to be keeping some alarm to your mobiles, or it might be mails, whenever the spike is reaches to 80% of CPU, your server is reaches to 80%, you need to get some alarms. That type of things we can be set up here itself. In the monitoring section, we can use one more tool called alerting manager. With this alerting manager, with this particular tool we are going to be alerting. Okay, whenever the CPU utilization is high, this one is going to be giving some messages to our mails, or it might be Splunk, or it might be through mails, or it might be mobile also. Okay, this particular alerting manager will give some alerts for us. Is this clear now about the monitor? Why the importance of this particular monitor? Any questions here? Guys, is this
Yeah,
clear?
Naresh. Yeah, it's clear, Naresh. So, what all deployment tools you would be discussing? Would you discuss all that you have listed there, like Tomcat, Docker,
Yeah,
Kubernetes, CVECS?
everything we
Okay.
are going to be discussing. Even more focus on Kubernetes. So I'm going to be doing nearly 15 classes I will take on Kubernetes itself. Docker, I will explain
Okay.
three things, like as a Docker run, Docker compose, and Docker swarm as well. Okay, I would like to explain about the Elastic Beanstalk and ECS as well. So I will give you some examples in my repository. This Kubernetes is having a lot of content is there with us. We can see in Kubernetes, these many things are there within the single Kubernetes. Okay, I need to explain about the auto scaling. Three types of auto scalings are there: HPA, BP, and cluster auto scaler. And I would like to explain about the backup, how we are going to be taking the backup of backup and restore of EKS and DNS setup and RBACs and cluster upgradations and config maps and secrets, deployment strategies. Again, three things are there. Okay, we need to be discuss everything. Because of that reason, I'm going to be taking nearly 15 to 20 sessions, 20 hours, not sessions, hours. I'm going to be taking on this. Okay, minimum 15 is fine for me. I can go and explain about these Kubernetes with 15 to 20 sessions. I will give you advanced concepts like Helm, Flux CD, GitOps. These are the advanced concepts in Kubernetes. A lot of guys doesn't know about these particular advanced concepts. So we are going to be discussing about these concepts as well in our sessions. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Along as per discussion, this everything will be done manually, right? This one I want to automate by using some Jenkins. As per our discussion, that is a release. Here we are going to be using release. If it is a one time, we can be done manually. There is no issue. But these developers, we doesn't know how many times they are going to be update their code. Am I correct? Every day they do some changes. It's based on their requirement, based on the client requirement. One more guy is there. He is the client. This guy is going to be asking some requirements. Based on the requirements, developer, they are going to be done some changes, and they are going to be, once they have done the changes, they are going to be keeping under the source code management. Once the changes are done, it should be test automatically, it should be built automatically, it should be deployed automatically. Because developers are there, 4 members are there, but here DevOps case might be less. So how we can handle each and everything? We need to be done installation, we need to be done admin activities, we need to be done deployment activities, we need to monitor everything. We need to be done in the sense we don't have much time, so we need to automate this process. How we can go and automate this process? We can automate this process by using some CI/CD tool. Okay, at this place, this guy came into picture. CI/CD tool is going to be done all these activities. This CI/CD tool, we have different things are there. We can use Jenkins as a CI/CD tool, or GitHub Actions we can use, or GitLab pipelines we can use, or Azure pipelines, or CI code pipelines in AWS. Okay, or we can use Bamboo or TeamCity. Okay, like I can like we can discuss, we can see these many tools. Okay, here it's not required to learn each and every tool. Even one or two tools is fine to understand about the pipelines, how the pipeline is going to be working. These we can call like as a pipelines. We need to write some pipelines. If you understood about one pipeline, we can easily understood about other pipelines as well. Okay, here This particular Jenkins is going to be communicate with source code management. This one is going to be communicating with SonarQube, and this one is going to be communicate with Maven. This one is going to be communicating with deployment team to deploy the applications. Okay, this everything will be done automatically instead of doing manual. Here I need to be run some command, okay, to clone the command. Here I need to be done the clone. Then if you want to test, we need to use sonar scanner command. This is the maven build command is there, mvn clean install. Okay, like we need to use each and every command every time. If it is a manual, DevOps guy need to be done each and every command. I don't want to do manual, I want to automate this process by using some tool that is called Jenkins. Here we are going to be discussing about Jenkins. Got it? And GitHub actions also I will give you. I will give you about GitHub actions also, how we are going to be writing. Okay, and if you have any Azure account, I will explain about the Azure pipelines also, how we can write a simple pipeline in this. Okay, like we can go and see these many tools are there. It's a company to company, these particular tools might be vary. If you know any one of the tool, we can easily understood about that particular tool also. They will give some time to you to understand about how they are going to be writing. Okay, it's a more than 2 days, 2 to 3 days is fine for us to understand about other tools if you already know about one tool. Okay, got it?
Yes, sorry to interrupt you, Naresh.
Yeah, please.
So, are you going to explain about the mountain tools in depth?
Yeah, I'm going to be explaining about the
Grafana?
installation setup. Yeah, I'm going to be showing this installation setup, and then I'm going to be showing about the how to create the dashboards and all. And I will show you how to integrate this alerting manager, how we are going to be getting the alerts as well.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, this is about our DevOps tools. Along with this, we have some other tools like Terraform.
Naresh, have you covered the project also? Like one or two projects for the real time?
First of all, you guys think DevOps guys, they don't have any projects. If anyone is saying that projects, that is just an activity. Okay, that is just a activity only. So here my activity is, I want to get the code, I want to test the code, I want to build the code, I want to deploy the code. Okay, this is one guy activity. Okay, they are going to be giving some different activities only. Some guys they says that please set up the SonarQube. That is your Jira story. Okay, they are going to be providing the work within the Jira. They says that please set up this particular SonarQube and under some EC2 instance under the AWS environment. Please go and create SonarQube with on a single server. That is our activity. They will provide like that. Okay, even if you want to show me like as a project, this entire thing I will show like as a project itself, and I will show you some other projects also I have done. Recently I have done one project. We can go to repository section. Here you can see this is the one project you can think. Okay, this is one activity, this is the one project. Project to project it will be different. I'm giving the scenarios, real-time scenarios. Okay, for DevOps guys, there is no projects separately. We are going to be working on the scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, I will give you how the DevOps guy is going to be working within the organizations. I'm saying that. Okay, I'm because of that reason I'm not saying that we are going to be discussing about the project. We are going to be discussing about real-time scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, and here these installations, right, the SonarQube or it might be Maven or it might be something, how these particular installations are going to be done. Every time it's not a good thing to do manual. That also we can automate by using some other tools. Here we are going to be discussing about Ansible. With this Ansible, we can automate our configurations. Okay, we are going to be discussing about these particular configurations. It means installations we can be done with Ansible. Whenever you are going to be running single command, it will automatically done everything. Okay, and we are going to be discussing about Terraform. This Terraform we are going to be using for infrastructure management tool. Okay, this one is going to be using for infrastructure management tool. Means what are the AWS services we have? We have a lot of AWS services are there. I'm going to be giving some examples like EC2 instance, or it might be load balancers, or it might be auto scaling groups, okay, or it might be some lambda functions, or it might be some VPC, or it might be some IAM, or it might be some EB. Okay, these everything, we have a lot of services are there in AWS. These services I don't want to do manual. Okay, to create these particular services is going to be taking longer time. Because of that reason, I don't like to create these particular services manually. I want to automate these services by using some Terraform. Okay, most of the guys, most of the companies are looking for Terraform who is going to be working in automation side. Okay, as the DevOps case, we need to understand about the Terraform scripts, how we are going to be writing. I will give you from scratch how we can write and how we can use that particular Terraform scripts to create these particular resources. Okay, this is about Terraform and Ansible. And when it comes to AWS services, nearly 15 to 20 services we are going to be discussing in our AWS environment, like EC2, load balancers. Like we have three types of load balancers are there, auto scaling groups are there, Lambda, VPC, IAM, EB, and we are going to be discussing about EKS or ECR. We are going to be discussing about ECR, EKS, ECS, okay, and we are going to be discussing about secret manager. Like we are going to be using different services, and I'm going to be discussing about S3, and we are going to be discussing about SNS, and we are going to be discussing about SQS, and we can discuss about yeah, and we can discuss about RDS. Okay, like we can discuss different services. It might be more than 20 also, sometimes it's a 15 to 20 services, and we can go and discuss about the API gateways. Okay, like we can discuss which particular services are required for DevOps guys in different projects. Based on that, we are going to be discussing. Okay, we can discuss one or two to three projects in our sessions, so that you can get some clarity how end to end we are going to be done. Okay, is this clear, guys? Any questions? Any questions from anyone?
Oh, so far so good. Thank you.
Yeah. Along with this, I forgotten about to give this particular jar or WAR file also. I want to keep somewhere in the remote location to store purpose. Okay, for the future references, I'm going to be discussing about Nexus and JFrog. Nexus and JFrog. This thing also we are going to be discussing. Okay, yeah. These are the tools what we are going to be discussing in our sessions. Okay. Any questions, guys, from anyone? Today we have discussed about DevOps lifecycle, and we have discussed about roles and responsibilities. Okay, what are the tools are going to be involving within our sessions? Okay, as a DevOps case, what are the tools are going to be using, how they are going to be using, how extensively they are going to be using, how we can reuse that particular tools. Okay, where we can use that particular tool, what is the importance of that particular tool, everything we can see from each and every role. I will explain. Okay, it's not for site reliability engineer, it's not for development, it's not for automation. Every position you can apply. Okay, in any company they are going to be asking any position, you can apply for that, because it's based on the JDs will be different, right? Our work will be different. We can apply for any one of the job if you are going to be learning like this. Even who are working within the organization, who those guys also doesn't know these many tools which we are going to be discussing in our sessions. Okay, and also I'm going to be providing some videos as well, which on regular basis. Now I'm going to be showing how I'm going to be providing. I'm just giving here. We can see I'm going to be uploading videos here. I'm going to be sharing with team. Okay, every day we are going to be done some classes. These particular classes I'm going to be sharing with you guys for future references. Whenever you want to understand about some other concepts, it will be useful for you. Okay, within the session you might you might understand few of the things, or it might be if you want to listen the class again and again, these videos will be helpful for you. Got it? Any questions? I'm just stop recording. If you